Are you ready outside? Is everyone here? It's not time yet. For those of you who already came in, check that your phone is on silent. Don't do a live feed when you listen to Dhamma. We are doing it. Don't get up and take video clips. I have closed down the temple for so long. It's good to see that you guys are all safe. There's still time, so we practice. Are you all here? Okay, get to your seats. Is there a problem? Don't send the mind out. Be mindful. There's a problem with the live feeding. You guys don't have a problem listening to me here, so you're not affected. There's no need to worry. Some people like that I make attendance reservations mandatory, since they don't need to rush into this hall. Some people have commented that it should be like this or like that. You can suggest, but the implementation must be practical. I cannot please everyone. Some say they don't use the internet, just like I advise not to mindlessly surf the internet. How can they make a reservation? I never forbid you from listening to Dhamma on the internet. I said don't surf the internet mindlessly. So, if you have access, you use the internet as a Dhamma learning tool. I am aware that it is now an IT-oriented world, but some complain about making reservations on Facebook. They want to walk in without a reservation and compete for seats. They say having a reservation system is unfair. Some people type fast. Some say they couldn't reserve on time because of their lengthy names. So, stay alert. Follow the news from the foundation. Some don't use Facebook. They use Line Messenger. The foundation sends out notifications. I think what I have is the fairest system I can implement for now. If you looked at the reservation list, you will see that even Mother Nut's relatives still need to make reservations. They couldn't just walk in. So make a reservation. If a seat isn't available this month, go for the next, and the next, until you can get a seat. Actually, there are 600 seats in 4 weeks. Or for this month, 750 seats for 5 weeks. That should be enough if one only comes once. In the past, 300 to 400 people showed up repeatedly, but availability for 600 to 700 people a month should be sufficient. Even if you cannot make it, you can still watch it online, live. So I think it's sufficient to serve all of you. You guys still have it easier than I did. When I was seeking Dhamma, I went to see teachers via tour buses and trains. There's usually another local ride afterwards, since most teachers didn't live in the city center. Some, like Luangpu, lived in the city center. Others lived farther away. Sometimes I had to walk farther when I reached the end of the local ride, since there's no further transportation. Some teachers lived up in the mountains. I walked up the mountains to learn. It's much harder than what you have to do today. So don't complain. Practice. Practice diligently. We are not as inconvenienced as the previous generations. During my time, it's not as hard as my teacher's generation to seek Dhamma. During that time, if they wanted to see Luangpu, they had to walk. They didn't know where Luangpu was, so they wandered out to seek him. Some with enough merit would find him. Those without wouldn't. Some even wandered into foreign land. Some wandered into India. So they had a much harder time. We have it easy. Sometimes, when it's easy, it's harder to see its value. Some feel that we should just listen and only start practicing when we get older. Let me tell you, the older you are, the harder the practice will be. The mindfulness won't be as clear. Samadhi, or concentration and stability of the mind, won't be as stable. The brain deteriorates. So, practice when you're physically fit. Don't make excuses. Practicing does not impair your work or the time you spend living your life wholesomely. It only disturbs unwholesome livelihood. You can have Dhamma at home or anywhere. Dhamma is not at the temple, nor with me. Dhamma is with you. Dhamma can be separated into two parts, the physical and the abstract. Do you have physical form? Abstract form? You do. Dhamma is there, and not at the temple, nor with me. Some people got hurt by not being able to reserve a seat here. So hurt that they resolved not to practice anymore. This is an excuse. If you really resolve to practice, you'll practice in spite of any difficulty. People who don't resolve to do so will find excuses. I won't pay much attention to them. I will teach people who resolve to practice. I don't aim for a large audience. Finding true practitioners is more interesting. How do we study Dhamma? I said Dhamma is with you. It's the physical and abstract phenomena. If you want to see Dhamma, observe the physical and abstract, which are your body and your mind. You'll see Dhamma, because it is there. It is with you. Have mindfulness and observe the physical and abstract. When the body moves, know it. It itches and you scratch. Know it. It nods. Know it. Keep observing. Don't let the mind wander off and forget yourself. If you lose yourself, you lose Dhamma. The mind has wandered off. If the mind is stable, the mind is with Dhamma. Because Dhamma is right with you. Everyone has the physical and the abstract. We all have it. So, use them as endowments to develop yourselves. If you want to know Dhamma, observe your body and mind. Know your own body and mind, not someone else's. Knowing your own body and mind leads to eradication of your impurities. Knowing others elevates your own impurities. So, keep observing yourself. For the monks who are listening to me, don't let the mind wander off. Don't get mindless or overly focused. Just be mindful. The first obstacle that prevents us from knowing the physical and abstract, or the body and mind, is mindlessness, delusions, or mind wandering off to other places. Sati is the quality of knowing the body and the mind. This sati is called satipatthana. There is no need to talk about worldly mindfulness. Driving without crashing is an example of worldly mindfulness. Drinking alcohol causes you to lose worldly mindfulness, but some still drink it anyway. Satipatthana is mindfulness that knows the physical and abstract of oneself. The Buddha said, as long as there is satipatthana practice, the world will not be void of the ones who understand Dhamma. Some even say, As long as there's Satipatthana practice, there is an opportunity for the existence of an arahant, or the fully enlightened one. It's true. There is an opportunity, but it's not like everyone who practices Satipatthana will become an arahant. If your qualities are sufficient, you will be one. But if not, you need to accumulate the qualities. So practice. Have mindfulness knowing your own body and mind. Move a part of your body, any part, then feel. When it moves, do you feel it moving? Can you feel without looking, or do you need to look? The mind knows the movement. Here, when it moves, know it. This is not yet the true physical form, but start practicing here. Moving physical forms are called viññati rūp. Know them first. Know them with the mind. Some physical forms are sensed by eyes, like colors are known by the eyes. Sounds are known by the ears. Smells are known by the nose. Tastes are known by the tongue. Taste is considered a physical form. Some true physical forms are known by the body. Coldness, hotness, softness, hardness, tension, and vibrations are known by the body. These are the elements of earth, fire, and wind. We know these elements using the body. The rest of the elements are known by the mind. More physical forms are known by the mind than by the body. Like we're sitting here and the body breathes, the mind knows. The body is sitting, the mind knows. The body is walking, the mind knows. This is observing the physical with mindfulness. Whatever happens to the body, the mind knows. This is called Kayanupassana, Satipatthana, or mindfulness practice by observing the physical. As we observe physical forms with mindfulness, as we practice, our sati will be stronger. When the body moves, mindfulness arises automatically. There are many birds here. They couldn't live outside the temple, so they fled here. Some are hungry for power, so they fight. There are 2 flocks. Go ask them out. Ask them to go somewhere else. Okay, they're gone. Did your mind wander off? Practice like this. When the mind wanders off, know it. Turn left or right, know it. This is called practicing mindfulness. The head nods, feel it. This is the beginning of Satipatthana. There are 2 stages of Satipatthana practice. The first one is for developing sati, and the second one is to cultivate panya, or wisdom. We start from the first part. Without sati, there is no wisdom. Without sati, there is no sila, or moral conduct. Without sati, there is no samadhi. Without sati, there is no wisdom. So practice mindfulness. Be mindful when you turn left or right. Feel it. Now smile. No need to let me see. You're all wearing masks. Just smile. I told you to smile, but you guys laughed. That's more than what I asked. When you were smiling under the mask, did you feel that the body was smiling? Could you feel? Or did you need to look into a mirror to know? There's no need. You know it with the mind. When you move hands around, feel them. Make it a habit to know. Why is practicing mindfulness so hard that so few people are mindful? It's so hard because the mind is used to wandering off. It's so accustomed to wandering off, not to having mindfulness. The mind works in the way it is accustomed to. Hey, that guy, the one who's trying to move hands, massaging your own hands, your mind is not right. Your mind is fixating, over-focusing, too still. This is not just knowing, you're controlling yourself. Wisdom won't arise this way because of stress. When the mind is stressed, there's no samadhi. When the mind has samadhi, it will be happy and peaceful, or at least ubekha, comfortable and light, without tension, heaviness, stress, stiffness, sluggishness, or dullness. That is proper samadhi. If the mind is dull and you try to observe the body, the hands get tense. If you're tense, the practice isn't there. Just feel normally. It's not hard. You're now breathing. Do you know it? If the body is breathing and you're mindful, you're practicing anapanasati. If you are standing, walking, sitting, or lying down posture and you know it, this is called iriyabot bappa, mindfulness practice. When the mind observes tiny body movements and stillness, it is called sampajanya bappa, mindfulness. It's not hard. Just feel. Don't control or fixate until the mind is stressed. Feel comfortably. I like to tell you to smile. Smile sweetly. Try to do it again. It costs nothing. Smile sweetly and know it. The face smiles, the mind feels. We patiently observe and the mind knows. When we smile and happiness arises, the mind knows happiness. Now we can observe the mind. So try to feel. When the body moves, know it. When it breathes, know it. Whatever posture the body is in, know it. Keep observing. After practicing observing for a while, mindfulness will arise. The mind can recall the phenomena we've been practicing. With continuous practice, mindfulness arises, knowing the body wiggling. If our mind has wandered off, then the body wiggles. Mindfulness will arise automatically. We'll notice that the mind has wandered off. We'll know this automatically. So, keep observing the body or vedana or citta, being wholesome or unwholesome. For a beginner, if you can't observe the abstract, keep observing the physical. See the body breathing with a knowing mind. See the body in standing, walking, sitting, lying down postures with the mind knowing. See the arms curling in or extending out with a knowing mind. This is good practice. Practice like this, but don't overly focus. That is not mindfulness. The mind was overcome by greediness. The greed to practice is also a greed. Mindfulness won't arise that way. Impurities arose instead. So know the phenomena comfortably, continuously. When I started practicing, I had my personal hand fan. I took it with me. It is still here today. I wave it occasionally because I'm used to having mindfulness. Before, I was using this fan. I waved it and was comfortably mindful of the movements. The mind was comfortable and not stressful. Being stressful is useless. Mindfulness won't arise with stress. When the moving air hits me in hot weather, the mind feels comfortable. When you observe the comfortable feeling and feel the body moving, it's good practice. You're rubbing your arms and your mind has wandered off. Did you know? Oops, your mind got tensed up because I was talking to you. You can know this tense feeling yourself. How do I know? It's not a miracle. When a teacher looks at a student, everything is revealed. It's not a miracle. It's normal. Some teachers can tell their student is stubborn just by seeing their faces, or they see that this student has a problem at home. It's not a miracle. So, using the fan, and feeling happy, know it. Keep practicing. If you keep waving the fan and the mind wanders off, no longer observing the body, this is deviation from the objective of the practice. We practice Kayanupassana to be mindful of our body. The body moves and we feel it moving. If your body moves but the mind wanders off to think, or you talk on the phone at the same time, that is useless. You're no longer practicing. You lack mindfulness. So it's not about the physical routine or repetitions. I said I waved the fan to practice. If you do the same action, would it be practice? It depends whether you're mindful of your body waving. If the mind wanders off, it's not practice. So practice diligently. Some don't like to observe the body. They can practice by observing the mind. Whether the mind is happy or unhappy is not difficult to feel. Everyone can do so. Right now, is your mind happy, unhappy, or neutral? Do you know? Whose mind has unhappiness? Raise your hands. Not even the slightest unhappiness? Wow, amazing. Some people are frowning. Their minds aren't happy. Now, raise your hands if you're happy. Oh, so 2 people are unhappy and 3 people have happiness. Okay, now whose mind is neutral? No hands? The rest of you have no vedana? If you cannot observe this, it's hard to observe your mind. The way to observe your mind is this. The mind is happy, know it. The mind is unhappy, know it. The mind is neutral, know it. This is the easiest practice. Feelings occur in the mind at all times. Every citta is accompanied by vedana. There are 3 types of feelings: happiness, unhappiness, or neutrality. Every citta must have a feeling. So the ones who do not know any feelings are not skilled at observing the mind. If you're skilled, there's always a feeling to be observed. So, can you tell whether the mind is happy or unhappy as of now? Is it difficult? It's not hard to know whether the mind is happy or unhappy now. Practice here. If you still cannot tell, keep practicing. It's easy. Some people are prone to anger. If you're prone to anger, practice Cittanupassana. The mind gets agitated or gets angry, know it. The mind isn't angry, know it. The mind is angry, know it. Keep practicing like this and mindfulness will arise automatically. When a small agitation arises in the mind, mindfulness will arise automatically. When I was a lay person, I also practiced like this, being mindful of the feelings. When anger arose, the mind knew it. When lust or greed arose, the mind knew it. When delusion arose, the mind knew it. After constantly practicing, I knew that I was the angry type. You could tell from my speaking style. The ones who are prone to anger and aversion tend to speak quickly, not slowly saying, "How are you guys? Are you all well?" That's a sign of lust and greed. If one's a delusional type, it will be, "Greetings, everyone in the Buddhist community." One can feel dim just listening to that. But I talk quickly, move quickly, not sluggishly because I'm the angry type. When I started practicing knowing the mind, I found that the mind is filled with anger almost all day. Experiencing this or that irritated or frustrated me. Keep practicing. I saw the mind got irritated or angry. If I couldn't observe the irritation, it turned into anger. If anger wasn't known and it overcame the mind, the face turned red with anger and I could feel dizzy. There are varying degrees of aversion. The anger could be so burning. At first, The aversion has to be strong before the mind could know. But after knowing them for a while, I could detect more subtle aversion. After that, the mind could even detect slight irritation. When I was practicing, I saw the mind alternating between aversion and no aversion. I kept practicing until mindfulness got sharp. One day, I opened a door and sunlight hit my eyelids just slightly. The mind knew the irritation that arose. Mindfulness got more and more swift. You can practice the same thing. Or if a mosquito was around, the mind got irritated. I wanted to crush it, but I was afraid of tainting my moral practice. If you don't have moral precepts, you'll crush it. You'll crush it as soon as it just lands on your arm. Dang, it got away. It flew that way. You run after it to crush it. Has anyone acted like that? Being vengeful of a mosquito. Anyone? Oh, there are many. That's a sign of good practice. For one mosquito bite, we're so vengeful and must take revenge. If it gets away, you get angry with yourself for being clumsy and unable to crush it. When it was on your arm and can't crush it afterwards, that's awful. Keep practicing patiently. Have mindfulness knowing our feelings, our own feelings. When the mind gets angry, know it. When it gets lustful or greedy, know it. Some are prone to lust and greed. They crave over a lot of things. They crave this shirt, these pants, these shoes, this phone. They even lust after others' wives. The mind's greedy. We practice by observing the lust that has arisen in our minds. At first, we'll detect big lust or greed. After a while, you'll notice that just wanting to see something is a form of greed. When you hear the sound of an unknown bird, the mind is filled with greed, wanting to hear the sound more clearly, and then wanting to see, you turn around to see it. This is the greed in your mind. This is subtle greed. But for a beginner, you will only see big lust and greed. Later, mindfulness will be more refined to detect more subtle things. At first, the mind will only notice sizable anger. And with further practice, the mind will notice even a slight irritation. With lust or greed, the mind will notice only a large amount of lust or greed. After some practicing, the mind will see more subtle phenomena. It can detect very subtle lust or greed. Wanting to hear, see, smell, taste, touch, think, or wanting to immerse yourself in sensual pleasures are all lust and greed. Wanting to practice is also greed. So when we start practicing, we start by controlling ourselves. At the moment of thinking of practice, we think of how to do it, and we'll start controlling ourselves. We control our body into a certain posture and force our mind to be dull and hazy. There are two main types here. One forces the mind to be dull and hazy, and the other forces the mind to be stressful, stiff, and inflexible. These are not proper. The mind was overcome by desire, and the mind doesn't know it. So when we want to practice, be mindful of that greed and then practice. If you start when you're already sitting, just feel. Sometimes it itches and you want to scratch. If you're mindless, you may faintly notice the itch and then scratch mindlessly because you aren't mindful enough to observe the itchiness clearly. Without mindfulness, if you're focusing on something else and itchiness occurs, you scratch automatically without seeing the workings of the mind. If your mindfulness is quick, the mind notices the itch and the mind is filled with the desire to scratch. So, You scratch, and the body feels comfortable, and the mind feels so good. Has this ever happened to you? Itches cause you to scratch, and scratching causes more itchiness. This loop repeats until the skin starts to peel off. Has it ever happened to you? Your mind was filled with the desire to scratch, but you weren't mindful. It takes practice to see this fine phenomenon. At first, we can only observe coarse phenomena. Then we'll see more and more subtle ones. Then we'll see that the mind's impurities are behind every thought. They're also behind every spoken word. They're behind our every action. If you can see this, your words and thoughts will be proper. Your words will be noble, so will your actions. So keep observing and seeing our own mind regularly. Whatever impurity arises, know it. Lust or greed arises, know it. Aversion arises, know it. Scattering thoughts or daydreaming arises, know it. Keep practicing. Once we're skillful at observing the impurities, Samma Sankappa or right thoughts will arise. Our thoughts will be proper. We'll think without lust, aversion, or delusion. Non-practitioners think with lust, aversion, or delusion. We practice patiently. At first, you won't notice this. You'll observe only strong aversion or strong greed. That's a good beginning. Detecting your mindlessness after an hour of it is considered okay. But if you're mindless all day, that's not enough. You're almost guaranteed next life in a bad realm. There's a high possibility of that because your mind is constantly overcome by delusions. If you spend all day being mindless without committing other immoral acts, you'll be born as a derachan, or an animal that's well taken care of. If you also commit other bad karma, next life will be difficult. As an animal with a difficult life, an asurakai, or angry ghosts, a peta, or hungry ghosts, or a naraka, or hell creature. It depends on the karma and impurities you accumulate. What I'm teaching today is about stipatan. You can observe the mind or the body. When body breathes out, know it. When the body breathes in, know it. Now a fly is listening to Dhamma on my head because all other seats are taken. It doesn't have a seat, so it tries to cling to my head. If the mind has anger or aversion, you'll focus on it. Sometimes you pretend to be nice by trying not to see it, but you wave the fan rapidly. You can observe your own pretentiousness. You have a lot of it. Go study yourself as you really are. Know the body. Observe it breathing out, breathing in, standing, walking, sitting, lying down, moving, or stopping. Keep observing, or observe the mind. Observe happiness, unhappiness, impartialness. Know it. Or if the mind is with lust or greed, without lust or greed, with aversion or without aversion, know it. See if the mind is diffused or not diffused. Keep observing. If curiosity arises from confusion of how to start practicing, know the curiosity. Practice like this. At first, we'll see coarse phenomena, but the mindfulness will be more refined and can detect more subtle ones, until mindfulness can detect even the tiniest working of the mind. Right there, you'll see what's behind your thoughts, your words, your actions, and you'll see whether what's behind them is wholesome or unwholesome. The majority of it is unwholesome. Once you're mindful of them, you have samma sankappa or right thoughts, and samma vāca, right speech, will arise automatically. The speech that comes from the mind untainted by impurities will be proper. Samma kammanta, right action, will not serve the impurities. Our livelihood won't be for fulfilling our desires. Practice patiently, and your moral conduct will be pristine, and the mind will be more stable and concentrated. Practicing mindfulness leads to stronger samadhi. So, right mindfulness will lead to right concentration. The 8 elements in the Noble Eightfold Path develop in steps from our practice. Listening to me will guide you on what to do. That's called sampachanya. It's the beginner's samadhi or right view. Now you know that you should observe the body and mind frequently. You practice doing so. You will begin to see the mind's impurities behind your thoughts, physical and verbal actions. Your speech, actions, and livelihood will be pristine. Once you reach that stage, when the mind's impurities arise, you can't tolerate its dirtiness and foul nature. When wholesomeness arises, you'll see the satisfaction. Know it. This will lessen your impurities and develop wholesomeness. This is called samma vayama, or right effort. The effort in eradicating existing impurities and preventing new impurities from arising. We achieve this effort by having mindfulness. Luangpu said, having mindfulness is having effort. Lacking mindfulness is lacking effort. Practice patiently. After our samma vayama, or right effort, is developed, our sati will get better. We lose mindfulness because the mind's impurities trick us to abandon it. When our wholesomeness develops and unwholesomeness recedes, our satipatthana will be stronger. Once mindfulness is full, samma samadhi, or right concentration, will result. When samma samadhi arises, the 7 elements of the Eightfold Path are still there. Samma samadhi will be the container of the other 7 elements, uniting all into one. This has an enormous power to transform the mind. The mind will transcend to ariyamak, or enlightenment. The enlightenment occurs when samma samadhi is full. But if samadhi is miccha samadhi, or wrong concentration, it won't consist of right view, right thoughts, right speech, right action, right livelihood, or right effort. Everything's lacking. Without right concentration, there's not enough power to be enlightened. So if you want to develop enough power for enlightenment, practice what I just taught you. Practice patiently. Have mindfulness observing the body and mind frequently. The phenomena observed will be more refined automatically. At first, we'll only observe coarse ones. This is true for everybody. Okay, this is it for today. It's homework submission time. Number 3 question. My question is, I'm practicing observing the mind wandering off. I wonder whether what I'm doing is samatha or vipassana practice. Luangpu answer. Don't think too much. What you're practicing is good. Practice more. There's no need to think what practice you're doing. In real practice, we won't be thinking whether we're practicing samatha or vipassana. The mind switches between them by itself. This is so for someone who can already practice. If your practice is still weak and you intentionally focus on practicing, then you must be able to distinguish between the 2 practices. But if you practice like you do now, just keep observing. Right now, your mind wanders off to think. So. Keep observing, and there's no need to worry whether knowing the mind wandering off to think is samatha or vipassana. Don't worry too much about vipassana. Vipassana occurs occasionally, not all the time. For most people, even with good samadhi, stability, and concentration, wisdom occurs only occasionally. That's the moment of vipassana. Keep practicing. Practice on observing the mind wandering off. That's delusion. Practice this frequently. What you're practicing is already good. Don't think too much. Okay, next. Question number 5. The problem is my mind lacks stability. It's not stable on any base. I'd like to ask for your advice. Luangpu's answer. What you're practicing now is better than before. Earlier, when you said your mind had stability, it was all over-focusing and controlling. The mind was doing self-torture. Once you let go of over-focusing, the first thing that happens is restlessness and diffusion. Don't be scared. Even if the mind is diffused, we have our practice. Mentally recite Putto or stay with the breathing. Practice without aiming for peacefulness. Breathe in Put, breathe out To, and the mind will be eventually calmer. At first, after breathing in Put, the mind may wander off even before breathing out To. The mind may wander off for half an hour without you knowing. Once you know Putto and breathe again. After a while, you'll know the wandering off quicker. Mindfulness will be quicker at catching the mind wandering off. When mindfulness arises, samadhi or stability and concentration will accumulate. Every time right mindfulness knows a phenomenon, samma samadhi or right concentration of khanika momentary type will occur. If khanika samadhi or momentary stability occurs frequently, you will feel like mindfulness and stability stay with you all day. Your samadhi will be better. The mind will be luminous. So what you're practicing now is better, not worse. Go practice more. Why did the Buddha have rectal bleeding? He had done a lot of good karma. Why did he still have rectal bleeding? Because of karma, and he explained it. In a previous life, he was a doctor, and he intentionally poisoned someone. So this karma affected him. It could be fixed by asking for forgiveness. He would know whom he poisoned, and would have gone to ask for forgiveness. And then the bad karma would have been gone. Was that possible? It wasn't. Don't be stupid. But do apologize to others. Express sincere apology. That is something you should do. If you have abused someone and you apologize, it is a proper thing to do. But the bad karma remains. Once you commit a karma, there will be results. If you get careless and then bump your head on a sharp object and get a big cut, it's not time to think, to whom did I smash his head in the past? But it's time to go see a doctor. If you acted like this, your old karma was your carelessness, and the new karma of stupidity doesn't help you cure the pain. You probably deserve to have all blood drained from your body. So live intelligently, practice intelligently, follow what Buddha taught. Don't deviate. It doesn't work. Okay, that's it. It's 10 o'clock sharp. Otherwise, you'll accuse me of cheating. You can't accuse me of cheating for teaching for an extra 5 minutes. It's your benefit because I teach you for free. You may go home now. It affected his body in his life, but it could not bring more rebirth to him. So the safest way is to practice at home. If problems arise, observe yourself. See whether your moral conduct, samadhi, and wisdom have improved, or have the mind's impurities got stronger. If you observe a lot of impurities, observe further. They seem to arise more because your mindfulness knows them more quickly, or they have really grown. If you see a lot of impurities because your mindfulness has become more perceptive, this is an improvement. But if you see a lot of impurities because you haven't been practicing, this is bad. So observe your mind. Help yourself. Don't be gullible, like the fixing bad karma example. The Buddha never taught it. If it were really good, the Buddha would have taught it. Why didn't he teach it? Because it's impossible to fix past actions. No one can fix bad karma. Karma is remarkable. Even the Buddha himself could not avoid his own bad karma. karma could affect his body, but not his mind. Wanting to be enlightened, to be wholesome, to be a star student, or being lazy and avoiding work, with the excuse that you'll use the extra time to practice, is not right. Real practice does not interfere with your work life. Keep your job and keep practicing. Observe yourself. Rely on yourself more and less on others. Someone just told me yesterday of an internet fortune teller teaching how to fix your bad karma. If you study with me, I never teach you to fix bad karma, because the Buddha never taught that. Karma cannot be fixed. It was done. The Buddha taught us to do good karma to weaken the result of bad karma we've done in the past. Or if you have a lot of good karma, doing more good karma will further develop yourself. This is the Buddhist principle of karma. Don't be fooled trying to fix bad karma by doing weird actions. Today, many people know how to hypnotize. They use hypnosis and dark power. These things exist. It was the same kind of hypnosis that Rasputin used to bring down the entire Romanov family. These things exist, and history recorded them. So, don't drift around looking for another refuge. Rely on yourself. The Buddha taught us to be self-reliant, that one should rely on oneself. Listen to Dhamma so you know how to practice and be self-reliant. Observe yourself. Don't be fooled. Once they hypnotize you, you may give away all your money, or even give away your body, in case you're a woman or maybe a man as well these days. I saw Luangpo Put once a month, Luangpu Dun once every 3 to 4 months, Luangpu Tet, Luangpu Sim, Luangta Mahabawa only once in a while. So for the rest of the time, I carefully observed myself. I observed what practice cultivated wholesomeness and what practice cultivated unwholesomeness. I kept observing. Whatever actions cultivated impurities were not the way. Whatever actions cultivated wholesomeness led to better moral conduct, better samadhi, better panya, right view, and seeing the body and mind's Tailaksana, or the 3 characteristics of physical and abstract, quicker and clearer were the right way. I used Yoniso Manasikan to gauge myself and my practice. After a month, there'd be some results. I practiced every day. I went to submit my homework with Luangpo Put every month. I reported what I practiced and what the results were, and asked whether the practice was right or wrong. If it's wrong, how could I fix it? If it's right, how could I practice further? Mostly, the teachers told me what I practiced was correct, and I just needed to practice more. If you hear something like this, there are 2 possibilities. One, you can really practice and the teacher approves. He tells you you should practice more. The other is that you're beyond saving, so they just tell you to practice more. But I can tell you that the students today are only the first type. There is no beyond saving type today. These students can start to walk the path. Practice patiently so you will develop further. Observe whether any action is actually giving in to the mind's impurities. Quitting my job so I can practice all day long and rely on my parents for support is not proper. Observe carefully why this kind of thinking occurs. It's mostly your impurities. So I used the principles taught to me to observe myself. I used a lot of Yoniso Manasikan, or proper consideration, since I met teachers infrequently. When I met him the second time, he told me that what I did was wrong, because I was controlling my mind. The lesson was to observe the mind, not to compose it. So I fixed my practice. I saw the mind's workings all day long. I saw the mind quickly composing happiness, unhappiness, wholesomeness, greed, aversion, and delusion constantly. I kept observing with stable and impartial mind. After 4 months of practice, Luangpu Dun stated that I can be self-reliant. I knew the principles. It will help the mind to have more strength. When the mind observes the body, it is called kaya katasati. Mindfulness observes the body. The result is better samadhi. You can observe the mind better this way. Is that all? Good. I just lost my voice. I had planned to open the temple since last month, but I had Bell's palsy. My mouth was deformed and my eye drooped. I was cured by acupuncture, so I recovered quickly. So, what was planned for last month will be used in August. Otherwise, we would have opened since July. Physical illness has interfered. So don't be complacent. You think you're still physically fit and won't get sick, but what if the teachers get sick? Today, it's hard to find teachers, unlike 30 to 40 years ago, there were many. Today, they're rare. So practice diligently when you still have the opportunity. If you get stuck, you can still ask. Otherwise, you have to be self-reliant. If you study the principles well, you can be self-reliant. When I first learned from Luangpu, I practiced incorrectly for 3 months. I was controlling the mind to be still and empty. Luangpa's answer: what you've been practicing is the homework. Practice more. Your practice was good. You made progress. Can you tell that the mind now and before are different? Right now you have mindfulness and lightness, not tightness and tension. Good. Practice more. What you're doing is correct, but not sufficient. Practice sufficiently doesn't mean increasing the number of hours for daily practice. It's accumulating the good qualities. Have mindfulness. Once mindfulness is sufficient, mindfulness stays from waking up to falling to sleep. It becomes sufficient by itself. Right now, we're adding the right effort. Practice consistently every day, and the good qualities will develop. Right now, the mind is a bit too light. Observe the body more. Observing only the mind can make it wander off easily. So, we help it a bit by observing the body a bit more. When you do housework, like sweeping the floor, observe the body. The mind tends not to have enough strength, so you use the body to help. Observe body standing, walking, sitting, lying down. Observe the body breathing in and breathing out. Just like you said earlier, anapanasati or breathing practice improves samadhi. So if we practice it more, you can use breathing postures like standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or observe body movements. This will make observing the mind sharper. Practice a little bit more here. If your samadhi is better, the practice will be smoother and quicker. But if you're a knowledge worker, so the mind strength is diminished, the mind can observe, but without sufficient strength. So use the body to help. This advice isn't only for lay people. When monks come to live with me, I still advise them to observe the body breathing, standing, walking, sitting, lying down, moving, stopping. Observing the body brings more strength to the mind. Once the body has sufficient strength, it will detect any subtle phenomenon. So if your samadhi is better, the mind can observe phenomena better. Otherwise, it is just a dull practice. The mind sees the phenomena, but the mindfulness isn't strong enough. So use the body to help you. Observe the body often, but don't over-focus on it. Just feel its existence, and your samadhi will be better, and you can observe the mind better. Last one, question number 59. I listen to your YouTube clips. I formally practice in the morning and in the evening. I observe breathing and use mental reciting putto. During the day, I observe the mind that wanders off to think. I would like to get more homework. If the mind is in this current state, it won't cultivate wisdom. But right now you're excited, so the mind is like this. This is normal. The head nods, know it. For you, if you want more samadhi, observe the body more. Use the body to help because you're a knowledge worker. If you keep working at the cause without anticipation, you won't feel that the progress is slow. You feel you've made little progress because you really desire to be free from suffering. Practice observing this. Question number 58. I submitted homework last time in August 2018. You said I could start observing the mind's workings and told me to practice formally and have mindfulness in daily life. The mind separates itself from phenomena better. For the days that I have to think a lot, the mind gets somewhat diffused. But I come back to have mindfulness with breathing, mentally reciting, and I feel stability improves. I can feel that the objects that the mind observes are not self sometimes. Sometimes I use yoniso manasikan or proper consideration. Luangpu's answer. So what's the problem? This is more like reporting, but I don't see a problem. Right now you're over-focusing. Can you see that? You do? Good. Life has problems, but you want to deny this truth. You want your mind to be blissful. That's greed and hoping for results. With that, mindfulness and samadhi won't arise. Practice without aiming for results. If the mind is unhappy, know it. If the mind is happy, know it. If the mind has impurities, know so. If the mind has no impurities, know so. Don't care about what knowing phenomena will bring. If you could practice like this, the development will be quick. But if you're hoping for something, it will hinder your practice. That's because the mind is full of cravings and desires for results. You'll feel the progress is slow. The stronger the desire, the longer the wait. Like, if you're constantly waiting for payday, every work day will be miserable because it's not yet payday and you want to get paid. But if you enjoy your work, payday arrives very soon. This is an example. If you anticipate results, you'll feel that things will progress slowly. Results will come if the practice is proper. Your mind is still diffused. Know it. Practice and be mindful of diffused mind, stress mind. Focus your practice here. This is very important basic practice. Practice frequently. Stressful mind arises, know it. Wandering mind arises, know it. Practice and it will be better. Right now, you don't have enough samadhi. Question number 21. I've listened to your teachings and visited this temple for almost a year, but I can practice very little. I like to ask which practice will be appropriate for me. Right now, I chant and then do sitting meditation with mindfulness. I feel that I've made progress. Mindfulness arises frequently all day. Luangpu's answer. When I was pouring water, how many times has your mind wandered off? Oh, if you could be mindful like that, that's good. The practice is mindfully knowing. If the mind is sad, know it is sad. Whatever state the mind is in, know it. After knowing the mind, don't have desires for the mind to be wholesome, happy, and peaceful. If the mind is sad, restless, unhappy, or whatever, know it as is. Keep observing continuously. After a while, the mind will see that the feelings, whether they're happiness or unhappiness, wholesome or unwholesome, are just something that the mind observes. There's no self in anything. Eventually, you'll see that. Your mind is skillful at seeing anatta. Look at phenomena from this angle. Nothing can be controlled. Practice seeing anatta frequently. Can you? Yes, this is appropriate for you, and you'll make progress. You didn't make progress earlier because you were hoping for results. The mind was unhappy. That is greed, and it will hinder the progress. We practice the cause of liberation, which is mindfulness. Whatever the result will be, it's not up to us. But right after you stop over-focusing, the mind will be diffused a bit. Don't worry. Keep practicing and the diffusion will subside. Your current practice is good. Question number 20. I've been practicing from your teachings by keeping the moral precepts, formally practicing for at least 30 minutes a day, and practicing mindfulness during the day. I feel that I haven't made any progress in the past year. I contemplated and I couldn't find anything wrong. I'd like to have your advice. Thank you. Luangpu's answer. You're still over-focusing. The mind hasn't let go of this. Let the mind work freely. Right now you're over-focusing. Do you see? Your current state of mind may be a little off because you're excited, so you over-focus a bit more than usual. If you're over-focusing, know so and it will get better. Practice knowing your mind until you see its workings. After that, the mind will be more pure. Right now, the mind is more comfortable. Can you see? The mind is clear and comfortable. Samadhi is better. Keep practicing. These good qualities need accumulation, and you won't accumulate much over a couple of days or a couple of months. Luangpu taught that practice is a lifetime activity. Even after he achieved total liberation, he still practiced. But his practice was only to serve as his mind's home base. So, we practice mindfulness for wisdom. Wisdom leads to seeing the truth. But once one has wisdom, becomes fully liberated, and achieves arahantship, the enlightened one still practices mindfulness as a base practice for blissfulness. So practicing is a lifetime activity. That's what the teachers taught. So don't hurry to get the results or give yourself deadlines to achieve results. Question number 10. During the recent time off from work, my mind was very restless. I'd like to ask for your advice. Luangpu's answer. Feeling restless and diffused is natural. Your mind tends to be diffused. So, you stay with your practice object continuously. It's not just diffusion. Sometimes worry arises as well. Can you see? Diffusion arises, causing the mind to be worried. Worrying mind causes more diffusion. Because the problem is still there. So as long as the problem is still there, the worry will still be there. If the worry is there, the diffusion is there, trying to find a way out. That is normal. So be mindful of these. When worrying arises, know it. Fix the root of the symptoms by having mindfulness, observing the worrying. The mindfulness arises, worrying will decay, and calmness will result. See the root cause. The root cause is worrying. Can you see it here? Yes, right there. Okay. Next one. Question number 17. Since 2018, I've been practicing with your teaching assistant. I was told my mind got stuck over focusing. I'd like to know whether I'm still stuck now. How can I improve? Luangpu's answer. Do you see whether you're over focusing? If you are, the mind will be stiff and tight. Right now, it has lessened. Do you know? The mind is more comfortable. You're nodding. Do you know? No, you didn't. You just became mindful when I told you. Keep practicing. The current practice has improved. You're no longer over-focusing constantly anymore.